values?
I think just because, for me, what's frustrating about a lot of other businesses or companies is they adopt one way of thinking and then stick with it and are, or one way of doing something and that ends up hurting them. So we wanted to make sure that this ability to always change and even go the complete opposite direction from what we might have thought a few years ago is something that's built into the company culture.
Okay. Jen, you are the CEO or Chief Happiness Officer of Delivering Happiness.
That's right.
What's that about and how does that connect with Tony and his work?
So Delivering Happiness kind of evolved. It's a company now that kind of evolved from the book. And so basically, Tony and I are partners in the venture called Delivering Happiness, and we kind of see it as a social entrepreneurship based on the response that we got from the book after it came out. We kind of, expected businesses to take to it, and entrepreneurs were really inspired by it, which was nice. What was unexpected is that we got a lot of positive response and feedback from people that outside of the business sector as well. So students and teachers and people working in government and hospitals, even families and mothers and fathers saying that they want to apply these core values and cultural principles that Tony has implemented at Zappos. And then at the end of the book, we talk about the whole concept of the science of happiness and the frameworks of happiness that can really be applied to both business and in general life. So because of this response, we decided to evolve it into an actual company, and our number one goal with that company is to really support and grow what we're calling the Delivering Happiness movement.
Can you give a specific example of a particular project or case from that?
Sure. Well, I guess the number one thing that we have is we're building our community on Facebook. So we're having all these different kind of subgroups things. And so we have an educational sector. We're going to develop a nonprofit sector, and then there's also for the for-profit sector, we have what we're calling Delivering Happiness culture coaching and helping companies figure out how to apply the concepts that Zappos has exemplified so well to their individual organizations. And we also have something at Zappos called the Culture Book, where every year we ask employees to submit what they think Zappos culture means to them, and it's completely unedited. In other words, the good and the bad gets printed, and it's just a real nice, transparent look that we do on an annual basis. We kind of see where the culture is growing, where there's potential weaknesses that we can work on, and so that kind of stuff that we want to help other companies do as well.
It's clear from the book that there's a great deal of freedom for people who are employed by the company. It's perhaps unusual, which seems to mean that staff are allowed to improvise. They don't have to follow so many rules or strictures. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely. We run our call center very differently from most call centers. We don't have scripts, and we aren't trying to get the customer off the phone in the name of efficiency. It's really, from our perspective, the goal is to build a personal emotional connection with each customer, one phone call at a time, one email at a time. We also do that through live chat, and and to do it in a very authentic way. The only way we can really do that is if we let the reps be themselves and let their true personality shine. And so if you call 2 different times and you get reps with 2 different personalities, it'll be a different interaction. And I guess we don't care so much what happens during the actual interaction as we do that when the customer hangs up, the customer walks away thinking, wow, that was the best customer experience I've ever had.
And does that require a difference in recruitment, in training, in management?
Yeah, definitely. When we hire people, we do 2 sets of interviews. The hiring manager and this person will interview for the standard stuff, but then our HR department does a separate set of interviews purely for culture fit, and they have to pass both and be hired. So we pass on a lot of smart, talented people that we know can make an immediate impact on our bottom line, but if it's not good for our culture, we won't hire them.
How does that, Jen, spreading to other organizations? Are they being influenced by this, or is it still something really different and unusual?
It's interesting. interesting is just I guess just by the feedback that we got from the book in that itself, it's pretty clear that people, if they're not actually doing it, implementing it in their companies, they're thinking about it. And if it's not being done at the senior management level, there's definitely pockets of people, within manager level, or general employee level that are wanting to do it in their own way. So that's why they've been coming to us and asking us questions like, what if this scenario? What if we don't have senior management buy-in? So what can I do as an individual or my team to be able to do things that you guys do at Zappos, where really it's really about life work integration, not separation, and it's really about being yourself and being true to who you are, whether or not you're at work or at home. And so I guess it's hearing it at all different levels. It's just been really exciting, and the fact that the book has been translated into, I think, over 17 languages now. What's really been incredible is that we've been hearing a similar type of thread and voice from other people around the world. So that's been really encouraging and inspiring for me in delivering happiness.
So we have here a group of people, I think, who have subscribed largely to those values and want to work in that way. We're building businesses with independent practitioners and in small groups. What kind of message do you think businesses need to hear from consultants and traders such as ourselves that's really going to connect with them, give them their current needs and the current climate experience and so forth?
Yeah, from my perspective, it comes back down to the core values. And sometimes, people kind of scoff at the terminology of core values and, what do they really mean in an organization. But here at Delivering Happiness and at Zappos, we really hold true to those core values because it's really a representation of, what you really believe in. And our policy is that we hire and fire based on those core values. It's just half of the evaluation is based on one skill set, but the other half is really living up to these core values. And I think that's what it boils down to. And research shows, and like books like Good and Great show that it's not really exactly the specific core values that matter, but really it's more about the company committing to those core values that really make a difference whether your employees are productive and at the end if your company is successful.
Okay. And Tony, from the book, there's great excitement at the start of the enterprise when you're beginning to build it. What tips would you give to people here who are starting out building enterprises that might want to be large and successful from the early stages?
This may sound counterintuitive, but my general advice to entrepreneurs is think about what you would be so passionate about doing that you'd be happy doing it for 10 years, even if you never made any money from it. And that's what you should be doing. And the funny thing about that is if you actually do that, I think it'll greatly increase your chances of making more money, because every business has its ups and downs, and it's your passion that's going to get you through the tough times, and your passion is going to rub off on employees and have this ripple effect on your customers and business partners and so on. So, I guess my main advice is make sure that money is not your primary motivator, because if money is your primary motivator, it will actually be much harder.
So passion rather than money. What one or two moments that you could pick out as examples early on when you had to make a choice that turned out to be significant and you're really pleased with the choice that you made?
Probably I would say both the easiest and hardest decision we had to make as a company was about 4 years into it, when 75% of our business was selling inventory that we owned, and 25% was under what was called a dropship model, which meant we actually didn't own any inventory. We just passed the orders along and then make money off that. So on paper, it was great from a business perspective or financial perspective, but we decided we wanted to build our brand to be about the very best customer service and customer experience, and so we knew we had to turn off that dropship part of our business because we couldn't control the customer experience, and the vendors we worked with couldn't ship as quickly or as accurately and so on. And even though that was actually the easy money part of our business, and so basically overnight we flipped the switch and walked away from that 25% of revenue because we knew it was the right thing to do for the long term. And even though it was kind of painful in the short term. And so, at that time we couldn't raise funding. There was a recession, 9/11, a war, and so on. So it's very, very tough, but looking back, definitely the best decision because we were being true to ourselves. It just goes back to everything true to yourself.
How long did it take for that to work out? To know that it was the right move business-wise?
I think we always knew deep down that it was the right move, which is why we did it. And yeah, we saw the effects right away in terms of customers being happier and so on. And we're definitely seeing that play out today, just in terms of the Zappos brand being associated with service.